you can tell, this is a love triangle. And if you don't like a love triangle, just get out of here. This one's not for you. But if you like messy, 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 this is it. Hey book babes, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm very excited about because it is the brother's best friend trope book recommendation video. Ooh, that was a lot to say. This is one of my favorite tropes. I think I have like a top 5 favorite tropes, and this would be on that list. Do I have a brother? Yes. Did any of his friends confess their undying love for me or me them? No, absolutely not. But that's okay because inadvertently I did find out later that my husband and my brother did hang out a few times when they were in high school. So I think that counts. And so I'm going to live vicariously through these books. Now, some of these books are really spicy and some of them not so spicy. And I do have a couple that I have read on my Kindle, but I'm going to go through the paperbacks first, and then we will talk about those books after. The first one is Serenading Heartbreak by Ella Fields. If you know me, you know that I love a good angsty romance, and this is super, super angsty. So I'm just going to read the back to you, and then I'll kind of explain a little bit about the book. My first love was my brother's best friend, a lead singer in their band, a picture of rugged perfection, and a drunk soulmate who couldn't commit. My second love was an arrogant baseball player, a player in every sense of the word, a smooth-talking, reliable best friend, and a chance at something beautiful and true. The problem with having a first and second love, that would be loving them at the same time. My story isn't some sexy triangle. It's exquisite agony. Fate gave me 2 men to love, but none of us knew which one I could keep. As you can tell, this is a love triangle. And if you don't like a love triangle, just get out of here. This one's not for you. But if you like messy, 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 this is it. Because it starts out, you kind of get the feel of her and the brother's best friend and the relationship they kind of have. And he always wants to be around her. He has a bad family life. Like she said, he's the lead singer in the band with the brother and some other friends. And he ends up leaving. He comes back. There's a lot of back and forth. He breaks her heart like multiple times. She ends up going off and meeting this college player, and he is sweet and he's her friend first, and they develop this relationship, and then the brother's best friend comes back, and that's where it all blows the F up, and that's where it gets messy, and that's where I have people who are commenting on a couple videos I made on TikTok who are like, she should have been with him. No, she should have been with him. Now, I'm not going to tell you who she ends up with because obviously that would be spoiling the book, but 10 out of 10 recommend. Book number 2, Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. Now, this one is very, more like a rom-com. Now, the cartoon cover looks sweet, looks cute, right? Wrong. Spicy, spicy, spicy. The spice is off the freaking charts. I didn't know that going into it. I was sitting here reading, I was like, this is just going to be a cute little rom-com, and then bam, I was like, oh, dear. Okay. So I'll read the back of this one, and then we'll go over it just like we did in the previous one. Georgette Castle's family runs the best home renovation business in town, but she picked balloons instead of blueprints, and no one has taken her seriously since. Frankly, she's over it. Georgie loves planning children's birthday parties and making people laugh, just not at her own expense. She's determined to fix herself up into a woman of the world, whatever that means. Phase 1, a new framework for her business, a website. From this decade? Phase 2, a gut reno of her wardrobe. FYI, leggings are pants. Phase 3, updates to her exterior. Do people still wax? Phase 4, put herself on the market and stop crushing on Travis Ford. That's the brother's best friend. Living her best life means facing the truth. Georgie hasn't been on a date since, well, ever. Nobody's asking out the town clown for a night of hot sex, that's for sure. Maybe if people think she's having a steamy love affair, they'll acknowledge she's not just the little sister who paints faces for a living. And who better to demolish that image than the resident sports star and tabloid favorite? Travis Ford was Major League's baseball hottest rookie when an injury ended his career. Now he's flipping houses to keep busy and trying to forget his glory days. But he can't even cross the street without someone recapping his greatest hits or making jokes about his bat. And then there's Georgie, his best friend's sister, who is not a kid anymore. When she proposes a wild scheme that they pretend to date to shock her family and help him land a new job, he agrees. What's the harm? It's not like it's real. But the girl Travis used to tease is now a funny, full of life woman, and there's nothing fake about how much he wants her. Woo! Now I remember why I don't read out loud, because I just, in my head when I'm reading, it's like zoom, 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 zoom. When I have to read out loud, I just blank, and I feel like I can't get the words out right. this is super cute because, like it says, she's known as her family as like this clown, kind of just like funny, like the little sister, and everybody wants to like keep her in that zone. If you're from a family like that, or you can kind of experience that, or like you were the baby and now you're grown up, you kind of know that like once your family and friends that you've grown up with for a long time put you in a category, they kind of want to keep you there. And this is about her breaking out of it. And Travis's baseball career is over. He's like pouting at home, and she kind of is the one to kick his ass and be like, all right, let's get up, let's go. This is not who you are. And she's also is curious about his bat because she's heard a lot of things. When I'm talking about bat, I'm talking about, oh wait, I can't say that. She's talking about something that I can't say here, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And she's heard a lot of things about that. She kind of wants to experience it, but she just proposes this fake dating. This is also a fake dating trope, which we love. I recommend, 10 out of 10. Number 3, The Not Outcast by Tejan Mayer. Now, this is different because this is a stepbrother best friend, and she doesn't really get along with her stepbrother, but like I said, I'm going to read this first, and then we're going to talk about it. Cutler Ryder was everything I wasn't. He was the hockey star. I was an outcast. He was best friends with my stepbrother, that same stepbrother who hated me. His 2 parents loved him. My mom was a junkie. My dad barely knew me. Years passed. I got my life together. Cut went into NHL stardom. Then there was a text. I was drinking. There was a party. Cut was there. I loved Cutler Ryan since the first moment I saw him. The only problem, he never knew I existed. So, our main character in this has some mental health issues. She suffers from like some anxiety and some other things, and she grew up in a really stressful environment, and her stepbrother does not like her. It's very known at the beginning, and Cutler doesn't even know who she is. They meet at this party, and they just have this like instant connection. And this book is about, it's kind of like instant love, not instant love, but like they fall for each other pretty quickly. But she has these, issues that invade her daily routine and her life that she has to deal with, and inadvertently he has to deal with. So it's a very unique story, and I love that he kind of is there for her through it. He's very understanding, very interesting, a very different take. I like it a lot. I think Tejan, I've said this before, has a very specific writing style, and I really love that about her. So yes, definitely recommend this one. I couldn't do a brother's best friend without recommending Ugly Love, okay? I know. If you haven't read it, I'm going to read the back, and we're going to go over it. You know the drill by now. It's not exactly love at first sight for Tate Collins when she meets the tormented and secretive Miles Archer. They wouldn't even go as far as to consider themselves friends. The only thing Tate and Miles have in common is a mutual physical attraction that can't be denied. Once their desires are out in the open, they realize they might have stumbled on the perfect no-strings arrangement. He isn't looking for love, and she doesn't have time for it. So that leaves the just sex. What they've got could be surprisingly satisfying as long as Tate can stick to the 2 rules Miles has for her. Never ask about his past. Don't expect a future. They think they can handle it, but everything is different when real emotions start to change the equation. Hearts get infiltrated. Promises get broken. Rules get shattered. Love gets ugly. So Miles is a pilot and Tate is a nurse. They meet through her brother. He stumbles in drunk one night, and she helps him. As it stated in the back of the cover, they start this relationship, and it's very no strings attached. We all know what happens when it starts out no strings attached. Strings get attached, and things blow up. And I don't want to say too much if you haven't read it. There is kind of a twist in it. All I can say is I will never look at the word Rachel or the name Rachel ever again the same. My next book that I'm recommending is Bad Habit by Charlie Rose. I love this book, and the new cover is absolutely stunning. I'm going to read back. Briar. I was infatuated with Asher Kelly the moment he came tumbling through my brother's window 5 years ago. Even bruised and bloody, he was the most beautiful boy I'd ever seen. We couldn't even be together. I was too young, he was too untouchable. He was too troubled, and I was too naive. But the heart is rebellious, and mine decided it didn't care about any of those things. As I got older, harmless flirting turned into stolen moments in dark corners, until one day he was gone without a trace. Now 3 years later, he's back, callous and cruel. He's my brother's best friend, my parents' worst nightmare. I should hate him, but like a bad habit, I can't quit him. Asher. I was drawn to Briar Vale from the very first time she looked up at me with stars in her big blue eyes. She was just a kid, nothing but elbows and knees, but she was the most beautiful creature I'd ever seen. We could never be together. I was too old and she was too off limits. She was too good and I was too effed up. Eventually, the temptation became too much to resist. I risked everything for a kiss, and she betrayed me. 3 years later have passed, and I'm forced to see her again, but now she's all grown up. She's my best friend's baby sister, my downfall. I hate her for what she did, but she's always been my drug of choice. Starts out, Briar and Asher, he's about to leave for college. They share a kiss, and a little bit more than a kiss, but not too much more than a kiss, if you can connect those dots. And they get caught by... They don't get caught. They get interrupted by her brother and his ex-girlfriend climbing through her brother's window. And after that, she doesn't see Asher for 3 years. Now, she just thinks he up and left without a trace. She's very upset because they were friends just as much as her and her brother were friends. And he thinks she betrayed him. So he comes back. He's hell-bent on staying away from her / getting revenge. And she just, like, doesn't really know what's going on. They try to play this whole game like they don't want each other, but he gets so jealous. There's a lot of jealous moments from him when she goes out on dates or is seen with other guys. There's this moment I love where their other best friend, Adrian, kisses Briar and Asher flips out. He does not like that. This is one of my favorite Brother's Best Friends book, and I 10 out of 10 recommend this. Now I am going to read, I have it on my phone, so I'm just going to read them off of my phone. I'm going to read some of the books that I don't have in paperback, but that I read on Kindle Unlimited. Broken and Screwed by Tejan. I don't know if this one is on Kindle Unlimited anymore. I know it was for a while. I have recommended this a couple of times on TikTok. This is a brother's best friend romance, but the brother isn't around anymore. He has passed away, and they formed this connection out of grief, this very strong connection, but he's going off to college, and she has to finish her senior year. There's a lot of like, please, like, you better be single when I come back for break. And she's like, you don't tell me what to do, but she kind of listens to him anyway. There's a little bit of jealousy. There's a lot of misunderstanding, which I know a lot of people don't like, but there's a lot of misunderstanding. Both of these people are grieving. They don't really know what to do with their grief. They don't really know what to do with their feelings. And I'm pretty sure the brother has told the best friend not to be around the sister before he passed. So that's kind of this point of, you know, like, would he even want us to be together? Would he want me to go against my word? So there's a lot of that, but these two people just can't stay away from each other. This is a this is a duology, 2 books, so recommend that. Very, very good. The next one is The Trouble with You by L.A. Cotton. This is another stepbrother's best friend, where the stepbrother, like you thought the stepbrother hated her and not outcast, the stepbrother in this one hates her. They do not get along. They are not friends. Like, they're pulling pranks on each other left and right. He kind of actually bullies her a little bit, if we're being honest. And the best friend is kind of always there, and he secretly likes her, and they start to form this relationship and bond, but they have to keep it a secret from the best friend, or from the brother, obviously, a stepbrother, obviously. And there's just like a lot of point of contention. It's set in a high school setting. They are seniors, I believe, in high school. Really like that one. Recommend it. The next one is Mr. Popular by Nicole London. This is a little bit of a cuter one. I wouldn't say it's like as spicy as some of the other ones, but Mr. Popular is her brother's best friend, and he drives her to school sometimes, and she just like can't stand him. She thinks her brother and him are like a bunch of big jerks, but they did end up going to summer camp together, and they kind of formed this bond and this relationship at summer camp, but her brother knows nothing about it. And then when they return to school, they both kind of pretend that like that didn't exist. So you have that, and you have a lot of sweet moments. You have a couple moments where girls are like, why are you always with her, like being nice to her, but you're not like so nice to me? What's going on? Very good. Recommend. And I think that is the end of it. Yeah, I have a lot more Brother's Best Friend, but like I didn't want to bog down the time. I don't really know how I'm gonna format my videos, like how long I want them to be, but I don't want to. I feel like our attention spans, especially from being on TikTok so much, are not as long as they used to be, so I don't want to like keep you on here for a long time. But I do have so many more Brother's Best Friends. I also have a lot of sisters' boyfriends recommendations. I have brothers, a boyfriend's brother. I have best friend's brother, which is different. Let's just all agree that brother's best friend and best friend's brother is different. Not necessarily bad, just different. So I have a lot of those as well. And if there are any other tropes you want me to give recommendations for, please leave a comment down below and I will try to make a video as soon as I can. I hope to see you guys soon. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!